Today we are going to be making pho guac mae, which is Vietnamese for chicken noodle soup. So today we're going to be making the stock, and tomorrow we're going to be making the rest of the soup. The ingredients we're going to need for the recipe is star anise, coriander seeds, salt, fish sauce, sugar, cloves, ginger, 2 yellow onions, 2 hens, and a roasting hen. The tools we're going to need is a small skillet, a stock pot, a mesh spice ball, a meat cleaver, cutting board, and a grill. Using the grill, we are going to cook the onions and ginger for 15 minutes until all sides are charred. Every now and then, you want to turn these so that they can be charred on all sides. While the onions and ginger are on the grill, you're going to be roasting 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 6 cloves, 2 star anise in a skillet at medium heat. So you want to shake the skillet for about 2 minutes until it smells fragrant. Now that they are lightly toasted and smelling fragrant, we are going to take them off the heat. By this time, the onion and ginger should be done, so we are going to take them off the grill and let it cool for a bit. Now that they have cooled down a bit, we are going to run it through warm water to help peel off the charred skin. And once we've done that, we're going to peel off the skin on the ginger, and we're going to cut it in half and smash it. So, let these run. There you go. Have our ginger peeled, we are going to cut them in half and smash them using a butter knife. So, alright, take your butter knife. I'm going to need help from my dad for butchering the roasting hen and cutting off the wings on the chicken. Now we are going to take our wings and carcass into the stock pot, and then we're going to place our 2 hens on top, and then fill it with hot water and let it boil for 3 minutes. parboiling, where we wait for it to boil and then we set the timer for 3 minutes. And once that's happened, we take our chicken and rinse it off in the sink. Now that it's boiling, we are going to set our timer for 3 minutes. It's alive. Now that the chicken is done boiling, I'm gonna turn off the timer, and you want to drain the pot and rinse off the chicken. Now that we have rinsed off all of the gooey and scum off of the chicken, we are going to clean off our stock pot and return the chicken into it. Now that our pot is clean, we're going to return our chicken into the pot. And to make sure that the hens actually cook, we're going to add these in first and put the carcass on top. Now we gotta add in water once again. Pot is full of water. We're going to add our onion and ginger, carry it to the stove, and heat it until it is almost boiling. The reason why we don't want it to fully boil is because it will make the stock cloudy. While we're waiting for it to heat up, we are going to put our spices into the spice ball. Locked. You want to make sure that it is, oh boy, how am I putting this in here? It is fully submerged. Once it is fully heated, we're going to be skimming the surface with a spoon to throw away any scum. Once we've done that, we're going to set the timer for 25 minutes to let it cook, and once that's over, we're going to remove the hens. Now we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. We take it, add it into the stock. It is trying to come to a boil, so we had to turn it down a bit. this cools down, we're going to wrap it with saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator for our tomorrow usage. Now, the chicken we added to here, we're going to make sure that it is actually mixed into the stock. And it has to cook for another 2 hours. And we gotta make sure it doesn't come to a full boil. And while it's cooking, we gotta scrape off the scum. We'll use it for tomorrow. Now that it is done, we are going to separate it using a colander and a pot, and on top will be a little strainer. Now that we've got the carcass separated from the stock, we're going to remove the strainer, put a lid on it, and put it into the refrigerator. That's it for the stock. Tomorrow we're going to be finishing everything else and prepare to serve dinner. Alright, now it is day 2 and it is almost time for dinner, so we're going to pull our stock out of the fridge and prepare sides and chicken. The purpose of refrigerating the stock is because we wanted to get the fat to congeal, that way we can scrape it off with a spoon. Now that we've removed the fat off of the top, we are going to turn it on low for it to slowly heat up, and we're going to prepare for the rest of the meal. The first thing you want to do is you want to boil water for the noodles, which you want a size medium of rice noodles. And what you're going to do is you are going to put water into the pot and allow it to boil. And once it has boiled, you're going to add in the noodles and turn off the heat, put a lid on top, and let it sit for 10 minutes. Now we are going to cut up the chicken breasts, and then we're going to remove the meat off of the chicken quarters and put it into a bowl and set it aside. Now that our chicken is cut up, it seems that our water is boiling. So we're going to add the noodles, turn off the heat, put the lid on, and let it sit for 10 minutes. The condiments we are going to be using is sriracha and hoisin sauce, and the sides we are going to be using are bean sprouts, lime wedges, cilantro, chopped scallions, and purple onion cut into paper thin slices. And we are going to put these sides onto these 2 plates for people to put it on into their soup. If you've got a steady hand, you can slice the purple onion paper thin yourself. Now that our noodles are done, we can turn off the timer. And now we're going to pour it into the colander and rinse it with cold water. Rice noodles are completely starched, so that's why we have to rinse it with cold water to keep it from sticking together. Okay, the stock is still pretty cold, so we're going to turn it up a bit to allow it to heat up, and we want to make sure that it does not come to a boil, so we want to get it as hot as we can get it without it coming to a boil. Now all I have to do is put the bowl together. You're going to take a handful of noodles and put it into the bowl. You can add a helping of bean sprouts, scallions, purple onion, cilantro. Don't forget the chicken, and you can squeeze a lime for the Now you're going to add the broth, and the reason why it is so hot is because it can cook the onions. Alright, last we add hoisin sauce and sriracha for heat. Mix it all together, and the pho spoon is for drinking the broth, and the fork is for eating the rest. That's the end of our 2-day journey. Enjoy your pho gourmet.